Hi everyone, this is the general reading for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in April 2019. I hope you are all doing well. Hello to all you cross watchers as well. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping before we begin the actual reading. I wanted to thank all of you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. It means so much to me to be able to share these messages with all of you, so thank you so much. I'm amazed with how much this channel has grown in just a month. It's wild. It's so crazy. So thank you. I did also want to say that I had a few people who sent me some emails for reading requests, and they never got back to me. I did hear from other people that some of my emails were actually being sent to their spam folder. So if you didn't hear back from me and you're wondering, like, what gives, I probably did respond to you. It just went to your spam folder. I responded to all the emails I got last month. I just wanted to let you know that that was happening. But yeah, I mean, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that so many people are resonating with these reads. Of course, it goes without saying that these are general readings, so not all the messages that come through are going to be meant for you. Some of them will apply, some of them won't. It's just up to your discretion and discernment what is meant for you at this time. And you're also welcome to check out the other videos for your other signs, your rising, moon, or Venus signs. If this one isn't quite resonating with you, perhaps there's something in one of those other videos that will. Anyways, oh, I am, sorry, there's a lot of updates and announcements. I am also sharing the astrological forecast, kind of the astrological information I reference at the start of each of these videos. I'm now sharing those as blog posts. I sent the I've linked the blog post for April down below in the description box, so you can check that out too. It can be a little helpful to figure out what's going on with the planets and the stars and what to expect when, if you're really into that. I will kind of briefly go over what I think is going to be relevant for Virgo, because we actually do still have quite a bit of stuff in Pisces, which is our opposite sign. So when you have something in the opposite sign, it does impact the other sign a lot as well, specifically in terms of partnerships and relationships and the way that they relate to the world. So for Virgo, there is Mercury and Neptune in Pisces right now. We've finished up Pisces season. We're in Aries season now. Mercury has been retrograde for some time, so that's caused some miscommunication, some delays with things. I think Virgos are very sensitive to that. I feel like this has been a time where the logical mind has kind of shut down and the intuitive mind went way up. I did say that last month. And we are still in that post-shadow phase, so we are still playing a little bit of catch-up. We might be making some shocking realizations about things that we thought were true, might actually not be true after all, or we might have all thought we were on the same page with someone, and in the next week until the 7th, we might realize, oh, we weren't at all. I'm also feeling like with all of this spiritual and emotional energy that's been coming in, I do feel like the 7th is going to be kind of the last install. It's going to be an install phase instead of another download. We're actually going to be manifesting a lot of the changes that have been happening to us in the subconscious, especially with all of this occurring in our 7th house or in our opposite sign Pisces. There's a huge emphasis on subconscious healing, especially relative to relationships. That's really been weighing us down. I'm a Virgo too, so I feel it. It's very good healing, but it's very powerful healing. And I think with the shadow phase ending on the 7th, Mercury is actually going to be conjuncting Neptune one last time. So there is the potential for a little more breakthrough, a little more clarity, more intuitions, more dreams coming through, more visions. So just be mindful of that. There is still a lot of, we're still in a pretty psychic window, especially with the people close to us, so that's cool. Yeah, I think we do also have some outer planets going retrograde towards the end of the month. Jupiter is going retrograde in Sagittarius, I believe April 11th, and Pluto and Saturn are going to be later on. I want to say the 24th and 30th. And that's going to really affect the way that is trining us, so that's actually going to be pretty positive. We're going to be reflecting a lot on the way that we achieve status and the way we transform ourselves and overcome hardship and transform. So it's a really powerful time. We're going to be in a pretty powerful window. I'm really excited to see what's going to be coming up for the reading. I'm just trying to think. I don't think there's any more updates I have at this time. If I think of them, I'll let you know during the reading. I'm just going to start shuffling here and tuning in. What is the past energy for Virgo coming into April 2019? Ooh, there we go. Couple more, please. What is the past energy for Virgo coming into April 2019? Interesting. Interesting. So for the past energy, I have the King of Cups, the Two of Cups, and then the Four of Swords in reverse, and that came out with the Tower. Ooh, some heavy energy there. So this is really interesting. I actually think last time I was saying some people might be reconciling with a water sign, especially a Cancer. It actually looks like that did happen for some of you. With this King of Cups, there may have been a water sign that came back into your life. This could be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And with this Two of Cups here, kind of in the emotional part of the past, it seems like there was some healing or reconciliation that may have taken place. There might have just been some restoration of the heart. I see a lot of healing going on here, although with this Four of Swords in reverse, it tells me there is still some healing that needs to be done, especially with the mind, with the thoughts, but it seems like at least the healing has begun, and it seems like it's begun with you and this other person already. I do see, you know, with these two together, with the Tower and the Four of Swords, I definitely see that there was a falling out. This might have been someone who you had a pretty nasty breakup with or a pretty nasty separation from, and I think there still needs to be some healing from that. But with this combination, I'm also getting the sense that you had a very big awakening last month, or a very big realization or breakthrough, or this could still be happening beginning of April as well, kind of just at the start of this month. And it's keeping you up at night. You might be having a hard time sleeping. You're not getting the rest that you need. You might be a bit sleepless, a bit insomniatic. I just see there's a lot of change that's happening. You're definitely, you know, this is an inner tower. This is a mental or communication. This is mental or communicative. This could also be a Scorpio or Aries as well. There could still be some healing that needs to go on there for some of you as well. This is a Mars card. I do see, it seems like your mind is just very awake. It's very restless. It's not, it's not mirroring your emotions and your physical reality. I think to a lot of people, you're coming across as very stable, very emotionally stable and receptive to people, but it seems like there's actually a lot going on for you internally that maybe not a lot of people are seeing. There could also be some conflict with another individual. It could be a water sign, or it could be an Aries as well. Very interesting. What is the animal wisdom for the past energy for Virgo? What came out? We have Peacock. So Peacock is a very interesting card. It's very much about flamboyant self-expression, being unabashedly yourself. And I think whatever, if you're coming into a new love, if you're coming into a new relationship, which some of you are, especially involving a water sign, or just someone who's very emotionally mature, you're coming into a very nice union. I think you're just really spreading your wings, you're spreading your feathers, so to speak, and it's very beautiful. It's very stunning. You might be feeling very beautiful yourself right now. You might be attracting a lot of attention. There is a lot of focus on love and mating, because we do have all those things in Pisces right now. So that's making a lot of sense with Mercury and Neptune. There's a lot of thinking about relationships for a lot of Virgo. There also could be a situation, Peacock does talk about peacock pose, which is supposed to help with your digestion. And some of you may be having a hard time digesting a situation. Some of you may also need to accept the person you are with just the way they are. And that may actually be a struggle with you. It seems like you're wrestling with some doubts or some really big, you're not sure. There's a big breakthrough that's happening. There's a lot of energy in the mental sphere. This card actually did come out when I was shuffling to figure out which sign to pull for next. And that came out with the Hermit, which is Virgo. So it does seem like a lot of you are still going through a tower moment, but because of where it's placed, I feel like this is actually kind of spiritual breakthrough, which is a lot of what was happening for March. So that's interesting. And your mind might be opening to new possibilities, to people you wouldn't have ordinarily been interested in before. Sorry, that lighting is like driving me crazy and I keep seeing it shifting. Sorry, I can see that it's going from light to dark, and it doesn't seem like there's anything I can do to fix it. I hope that helped. I know that's going to drive some of you crazy. You're Virgos, after all. But let's see. So that's some interesting energy for the past. It actually seems pretty good, despite being uncomfortable, despite... I still feel like there's some healing, but it seems like you've begun healing. You've definitely begun a healing journey. Let me see here. What is the energy coming into the first half of April for Virgo? Interesting. You saw me shuffle, and I was saying this card came out with the Tower, and Hermit comes out again. So this is our card right here. Of course, some of us are also dealing with another Virgo. We have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and the Seven of Cups, and the Nine of Wands in reverse. I have to say, you know, the Hermit and the Knight of Pentacles, these are both traditionally Virgo cards. Knight of Pentacles could be any earth sign, but it actually usually is Virgo, or it could even potentially be a late Decan Leo. So someone who's born in the later part of the Leo season. But it really seems like there is another Virgo a lot of you are speaking to. You're not really sure what to do with. It's like you're trying to weigh out your options, or you're trying to think of how to approach this situation. You could also just be spending a lot of time by yourself, a lot of time in meditation, taking time away from people, which isn't a bad thing. I think especially during a Mercury retrograde, that's actually like one of the best times, or we're going to be in the post-shadow of Mercury retrograde, but I still think it's important to keep to ourselves as things are settling. Once that post-shadow ends on April 7th, I think it's a better time to start communicating. I mean, obviously you have to have conversations with people. You can't just be mute. But it seems like with this Knight of Pentacles, something has come to a halt. You're really slowing down at the beginning of April. And you might be trying to consider new options, especially if you're involved in a relationship with an earth sign. You might actually be starting to be tempted by other people. I have to say, there might be some other prospects that are looking really appealing to you. You're definitely weighing your options, and it feels like there's a lot of possibility. You might just be taking a break, and getting some rest actually is a potential interpretation for this, because it seems like there wasn't a lot of sleep for you in March. Or just coming into this reading, it does seem, I'm gonna see what the animal card says about all of this in a second, but with this Nine of Wands in reverse, it's, again, it still seems like mentally there's just some sort of healing that is still taking place. There's still this feeling of being burdened, of being beat down, and I feel like you're having a hard time coming out of it. You're still feeling that way kind of at the beginning of March. You could also be doubting a relationship, especially with an earth sign that has been very tested. Some of you have just gone through a lot with this person, and you might be thinking about dropping them out or not working with them anymore. This could potentially just be like a business partnership or a family member as well. I see with this card also moving away, or moving away from, some of you may have actually healed from this, but the overwhelming impression is that there's still some healing that needs to be done. You're feeling pretty defeated. You're feeling pretty worn out by everything that's happened. Even if things have gone well in your life, you are just getting so much information spiritually and psychically and emotionally. It's actually weighing you down in ways that I don't think most people could see. Like if someone was just looking at you in your day-to-day life, they wouldn't understand why you're so tired all the time and why you are being so reclusive. But there's a lot going on mentally for you, Virgo, and I see that still kind of playing out at the beginning of April. So let's take a look. What is the animal wisdom for the first half of April? And I do want to say too, because this Aries season was kicked off with a Libra full moon, we actually do have another one on the 19th. There's 2 Libra full moons this year. There is a lot of emphasis that's being put on relationships and the way that we show up in relationships, the way that we compromise ourselves. Some of you may be distancing yourself from your partner too, because you need to reconnect to yourself. There's something you've been compromising, and maybe that's what the Seven of Cups is. It's getting back in touch with your dreams, with your own goals, your own desires. And it feels pretty, it feels like a pretty inactive. It's more planning, the first half of April. This is the perfect card for what I was just talking about. This is Dragonfly. This is a very mental card, as it's ruled by the air element. It is, however, also very close with the water element, because dragonflies are seen around ponds and streams. So this card does tell me that there is a lot of mental activity. You may be going back and forth with all of these different possibilities or options. Your mind is very scattered, potentially. And you feel worn down. This is wearing you down mentally. You kind of need to rein this in. This card does speak of using breath to regain your focus, focusing on the breath. I think Vipassana meditation would be beautiful for this card as well. Any form of meditation, really. Really try to settle your mind before you make a decision. There's so much that you're weighing. There's so many different possibilities that seem to be in your heart right now, and there's definitely a lot of burden that you're still overcoming. I think this card has a lot to do with reflections and also illusion as well. We are still kind of dealing with that Piscean influence as well. So a lot of you may not be seeing things very clearly. It's important to make sure that your mind is settled and calm before you really start reflecting and before you really start thinking about moving forward. There may even be a potential physical block that is preventing you from doing so in the first part of April, and that's meant to give you pause before proceeding. You may actually want to get some more mental clarity before you proceed. So that's just what I'm getting so far. I'm curious to see what the second half of April has in store for Virgo. I'm almost getting the sense that some of you might have gotten into a union or a relationship or a partnership or just involved with someone, and then it feels like kind of like you're to yourself again all of a sudden at the beginning of April. It's like you were all in, and then there's this reservation that comes up. There's a lot of doubts. There's a lot of feelings. What is the future energy for Virgo in April 2019? What does the second half of April hold for Virgo in 2019? Yeah, it's taking a while for these cards to fall out, which tells me that you're definitely reconsidering your options, or definitely thinking about a lot towards the end of April. I'm gonna shuffle 7 times. Okay, I was told to shuffle 7 times. Sorry if this takes a minute. That was not my, I would not have said that, but okay, so that's 2. 3. 4. 5. What does the second half of April look like for Virgo? 6. What is the energy for the second half of April 2019 for Virgo? Okay. Let's see. Great. All right, this looks good. We have the Page of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, and we have the Justice card. So with this Page of Wands, I see that a lot of people might be making some exciting moves toward the end of April, or there might be a new opportunity that presents itself, something that excites a lot of passion in you. This could also potentially be a young fire sign that comes into your life, or a very youthful energy or person. So that could potentially be an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Very interesting. I do also have, with this 8 of Pentacles, it seems like a lot of you are still going to be hard at work. You might be working on the thing that you were given pause from at the first half of April. You're definitely coming back to work. You're working on the things you love. You may be working on a relationship. Some of you may still be healing whatever was damaged in the past with this 4 of Swords in reverse and this Tower. Some of you are still working on this 2 of Cups, and it seems like you are working very hard. And I almost want to get this in, I almost want to say that both of you are working hard. There is this Justice card as well. This is potentially a Libra you are communicating with. I see this, however, as just you making very... I think after weighing out your options, by the end of the month, you're going to be ready to just make your decision, make your verdict, state your claim, and you're just mentally going to be in a very boss mentality. You're really going to feel quite empowered. If someone out there is dealing with a legal situation, if that's what has been weighing on them mentally, I do feel like by the end of April justice will be served fairly. However that applies to you, it seems like it will turn out favorably. So that's something to consider as well. But I'm getting more the sense that this is just you finding a mental balance with these scales, especially with this dragonfly energy. I actually feel like a lot of you really are going to take that seriously. You really are going to meditate and take time to get clear. And I think that would be really good because, the second half of April is looking really good for Virgo. I have to say, you're definitely working on the things that you care about. There's just this new spark, this forward movement, and very diligent effort that is being made, which is awesome. I'm I'm curious to see, let's just get the animal wisdom for the second half of April. What animal spirit is working with Virgo in the second half of April? Ooh, beautiful. We have gazelle, and we actually have sea serpent. Very, very nice. So gazelle, this feels like making a home for yourself, is actually what's kind of coming up for some reason. Gazelle is very aware of their surroundings. They're very sensitive. They're borderline hypervigilant, always looking out for danger, but they're just very in tune with their surroundings. And this is a very Virgo-like card, to be honest with you. You know, Virgos are very sensitive to their environment. We take in the world around us in a very real way, and we do that energetically and mentally. We digest a lot, you know, talking about peacock, we do really take in and digest everything that comes towards us. And gazelle is actually telling me that it's important to be really mindful of what you're eating, also to just make sure that you are taking care of your day-to-day life, making sure your surroundings are calm and clear. Again, that's kind of with dragonfly. Getting clarity is honestly a big, big theme for you this month, Virgo. And we do have sea serpent as well, which is Svadhisthana, or the sacral chakra. This is, I believe that translates within her own abode. And this is just feeling very at home in oneself. Very good creative energy, sexual energy, generative energy. I feel like there is going to just be this swelling forward, this sweeping forward towards the end of April, and it's really going to push you along. This is a good card for relationships as well. I actually think the sacral chakra has more to do with relationships than the heart chakra. To me, heart chakra is more the humanitarian love, the love for humanity, and kind of the interpersonal love is more sacral. It's that sensual love, that romantic love. And this is also just the love of a mother as well. It's a very intimate love. It's not a general love for a group of people or for people. It's very individual. And whatever it is that's happening for you, it's just, you gotta ride the wave. Because that wave is taking you somewhere, and it looks good. It looks really, really good. I know that Virgo had a really tough year last year in 2018, and I think 2019 has still been, I think it's been much better for Virgo in general, but I still think that there's a lot of trauma. There is still, we're still dealing with that tower moment. So it is just important to keep moving on, to keep flowing. I do see, this is just a really beautiful card. I'm almost getting the sense that there might be some karmic boon towards the end of the month as well, which makes a lot of sense with Saturn and Jupiter going retrograde in April as well. There is kind of a resetting of karma. There is a dealing out of karma and moving into new cycles. Sea Serpent is also a lot about new cycles to me as well. It's kind of like the World card in that way. So it seems like you're definitely beginning something new, and you're putting in the work, and it's paying off. So just keep it up, Virgo. Whatever it is that you're doing, it seems like you're here. You're showing up to yourself in your reading. You have the Hermit card. You have the Knight of Pentacles. And you're definitely very in your zone. And I just got to say, that's really great. And I did take a peek at the bottom of the deck here, and there is this this 10 of Wands. So some of you may be a bit overburdened. This may be a good month to really figure out what it is that actually, maybe this is what the 7 of Cups is actually about. Maybe you're just figuring out what it is that's actually worth caring about and what's worth dropping. Because you're definitely working very hard. You have this 8 of Pentacles. You're working so hard. And I think it's just really important for you to be realistic with yourself and what you can put out. But wow, this is nice. I'm actually feeling good about this. I'm feeling good about April. So cool. And those are all the messages that I am getting for you right now, Virgo. I do hope that this resonated and was helpful for you. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Definitely share your stories in the comments down below. It's so important to share your experiences with people. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can do so with the information in the description box. I have my website and I have my email. You can contact me either way. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye, Virgo.